100 school boards have turned red since last year, and school board seats have become highly coveted.
In the recent midterm elections, many candidates supporting the rights of parents in education won their races. CBN's Tara Mergener has more on where the parental rights movement heads from here.
While there was no nationwide red wave in local school races, there were significant gains. School boards in several states now have conservative majorities. Supporters are hoping that's part of a larger trend that will give Republicans the upper hand in the education debate.
Voters in Virginia Beach have the chance to reshape the city's school board.
Once ignored school board elections are now getting attention.
The Democrat knows she'll have to change some hearts and minds to win re-election.
And seats are highly coveted.
This is going to affect us in the future. It's going to affect our children.
The 2022 midterms follow 2 years of post-pandemic backlash.
Last year, almost everything we got in through our tip line was about race. This year, probably 75% of what we get in is related to gender. A lot of the questions we're getting now are about social emotional learning and data mining and surveys that are being given to children without parental consent.
Traditionally nonpartisan bodies, local school boards have turned fiercely political.
I will not sit down, I won't comply.
A swell of largely first-time candidates getting into the game, hoping to overturn school policies and give parents more of a voice. Donations from Republican groups poured into their campaigns also made a difference.
We were just really excited to see the results from the midterms, and we think it's just the beginning of this wonderful parental rights movement around the country.
On November 8th, it led to school boards flipping in at least a half dozen states.
Every school board seat we flip makes a huge impact in their communities.
Recently front and center in the ongoing culture war,
we not only know that parents have a right to be involved, we insist that parents have a right to be involved.
Florida made headlines again as Governor Ron DeSantis got directly involved by making numerous school board endorsements.
I'm excited to report that 25 of the 31.
Since last year, at least 100 school boards nationwide have turned red, with more candidates waiting in the wings.
With every success, we get 10 more people that are willing to put their reputation on the line, get their names on the ballot, and make a change in their communities.
Now, in this election, Moms for Liberty endorsed more than 250 candidates. About half of them actually won. In the 1776 project, they got behind about 50 people, and about a third of them won, Gordon.
Well, let's look at the pro-parent candidates. What changes could we start to see in their districts?
Right. Well, with more conservative school boards now in control in a lot of places, what you're likely going to see is a big change in the conversation, with parents getting a lot more dialogue, people asking a lot more questions about budgets, the money taxpayers are being used to fund these schools. Is it going to be used for reading, writing, arithmetic, and other academics, or is it going to be used for things like critical race theory, promoting transgenderism in the classroom, buying pornography for school library shelves? So there'll be a lot more talk about what kids are actually learning in the classroom, open dialogue, because possibly a more conservative school board is going to be more transparent. At least that's the hope. There's also going to likely be a closer look at how teachers are using their time, a good look at teachers' unions, what role they're playing in the classroom and influencing what these children are learning. And again, the goal here is more transparency to open the dialogue. And that's the hope going forward, is with more conservatives in control, this is going to set the stage for a whole new scene, Gordon.
Well, that's really good to hear. Can you walk me through, how did we get here? How in the world did school boards ever become anti-parent or become, well, we're the experts and we know what's best for your children and we need to leave you out of the equation? How in the world did we get here?
A lot of people are asking that same question, but when times seem to be going smoothly and things are good, a lot of parents were not paying attention. And then along comes the pandemic, and you see all the things that have been moving into the classroom probably for a number of years. It felt very instant, but it likely was not. So really, school boards used to be sleepers. So what they really need to do now is they need to get more candidates. They're looking at doing that, putting up candidates who are conservative and not leaving this to chance that good people are actually going to get in place, or what they perceive as good people with more conservative values. So a lot of liberal values got into the classroom over the years, and there weren't candidates stepping up to run for these positions, and here we are. So it's a great question, though, but they do believe now with what's happened, it's a step in the right direction. It's certainly not the red wave that they wanted, conservatives, but they're already moving toward a place where they're hoping that they're going to position themselves much better in the next election, Gordon.
Well, let's look at this red wave on school boards. There seems to be some disappointment that more conservative candidates didn't win more seats. And so it looks like Florida is the exception nationwide. There was a red wave. So any ideas why that didn't carry nationally?
There's been some criticism that the candidates didn't focus enough on pandemic learning loss, that Republicans in general were so keyed in on inflation and that they were banking on that to get voters to the polls, when pandemic learning loss is such a big deal. We've seen the immediate effects of that, where test scores are down nationwide, but critics also say that we don't know the full effects of this learning loss. We're not going to know it for years. Will there be more dropouts? Will there be more crime? So yeah, that's essentially it. So they said there wasn't a sense of urgency with this, and that really cost them